Now, is that carded wool or?
Yes, it's been washed and it's been carded into what's called a roving. When it's in a rope shape like this, it's a roving. And so what I'm doing now is just breaking it loose a little so that when I spin I don't have a lot of resistance. In certain places some of the wool has probably lumped together more than in others, and I want that to be a little smoother so that I don't end up with too big of lumps when I'm spinning, because lumps when you're spinning is not good. You don't want spinny lumps. And then I just lay the fuzzy ends to the fuzzy ends. Some wools, when I get them, I find the rope tends to pull easier from one end or the other. Kind of like paper will tear but easier one direction than the other. This will do the same thing.
So where do you get the wool? Already done up that way?
Yes, I buy it already done up because, well, I buy a lot of different kinds of wool because I like to spin a lot. And so if I can get my hands on wool that's already spun and carded or combed into a roving, and it's a price I can afford, then I'll get it that way. Because I don't want, I live in the city, I live in Farmington, and washing wool is expensive, and I hate having to do the roto-rooter thing every couple of months to get the grease out of the traps and the line from the sheep wool, and so I don't clean my wool. If I can buy it cleaned, I will. So I usually am looking for washed wool. Now, if it's not combed, if it's washed but it's not combed, then I'll comb it because I have carders. I have a drum carder that I will. My husband actually does.
It looks like an art.
It's one of those things where, to start with, there's a learning curve. And there is a certain amount of art to figuring out, okay, this is what I've got to work with. How am I going to make it into what I want? Or is this the right wool even for what I'm going to make? Like the wool that I've got here is great for an outer garment, but I wouldn't want to put this against my skin. If I were spinning for something that was as fine to put against my skin, like an undershirt of some kind or leggings, then I'd want to spin it even finer than this. And I want it of a very soft wool so that it doesn't scratch. Because it's kind of like, it's a hair, and as a hair, if you've got a thick hair like your beard hair, it's pokey. But if you have very fine hair like your hair on your head, then that's very soft. So how thick the hair of the sheep is, or the wool is, decides whether or not you really should or shouldn't use it for one purpose or another. Thicker wools, thicker hair is usually used for rugs, outer garments, coats, cloaks.
Very cool. Then the next step, you've got to weave it.
Well, and then you weave it, and I weave my yarn because I'm a spinner before I'm anything else. But when you end up with a chest of drawers that's this high and this wide, full of 2-ply yarn, you've got to figure out something to do with it. And I used to crochet, and I still do. I crochet, but as it is now, if I crochet, I'm using 2 2/3 yards to do what I can with 1 yard weaving it. If I knit it, it's 2 yards. So if I weave it, I don't use up as much yardage, which when you spin it, you don't want to use it too fast. It's okay to use it, it's just don't use it too fast.
Yeah.
So.
Do you know where to sign up to do the